Heyo! You know, I feel much better today. It's almost as if talking through my feelings has somehow helped me work through them emotionally. Is this what being socially competent feels like? To be real, thank you to everyone that commented, to those of you that have been watching the channel for a while, to those of you that were brand new, and to Roberto Blake for posting this video in a YouTube post. That's pretty wild. I literally watched Roberto Blake. The response to this video, I mean, especially from people that don't even know me, has been just so much more wholesome and supportive than I ever could have possibly imagined. So really, thank you all for that. The irony of this video getting 2,000 views is not lost on me. Now, I made that one off the cuff. I just filmed it and straight uploaded it. This one, I've decided to put myself together a little bit more. I say a little bit, I'm still wearing my Star Wars pajama pants, and I've had some time to ponder your guys' suggestions and ideas, and so in this video, I want to go through all of that feedback that I got, and tell you basically how the channel is going to change in response to that feedback. And hopefully, even if you're not interested in the videos themselves, you can find some value here in just the basic workings of YouTube. So you guys resoundingly said three main things in the comments. That I spend too much time per upload, that I have bad search engine optimization like titles and tags, and then the third is that the channel is not focused enough. So I'm gonna go through each of these things, starting with too much time per video. Here I agree and I disagree. I agree in that I think it would be great to be able to find a way to get more content out and to lower the amount of hours it actually takes per video. I could even just, you know, make the videos shorter so that I can get more of them out more regularly. I disagree with the idea of lowering quality for the sake of quantity. I mean, so many people are doing YouTube now. It's just like, why do this if I'm just gonna be generic? And if you look at all the people that I aspire to, like Casually Explained or Nikki Jakey or Michael Reeves, you know, it is precisely the fact that their content is two cuts above the rest that makes me keep coming back and wanting to watch more of them, and it makes me willing to buy merch from them and stuff like that. Granted, I know that's not what most of you meant when you said, you know, 50 hours per upload is too much, but I just wanted to get that out there. Second point of feedback, my titles, tags, descriptions, and search engine optimization is subpar. Here, I agree. I've recently been writing longer descriptions. I didn't write a description on that last video because, like, that is not the time or place for that. Generally, just on the topic of descriptions, it's not something that I've really spent too much time on because all the people that, once again, I aspire to be like, they don't really have long descriptions, and whenever they do, it's really just links to, you know, Amazon affiliate links or the gear that they use. It's not like, here's a keyword dump. Plus, I almost never watch videos for entertainment purposes off of search results. I pretty much exclusively just watch things that are either recommended to me or that I'm subscribed to or that show up in my notification feed. For tutorials and DIY, absolutely, but you don't necessarily search out comedy videos. So there I'm a little bit hesitant on how much of an impact that would actually have in my specific case, but certainly that's something I can improve on. And then titles and thumbnails, I absolutely agree with you. I really like the things that Critical has been doing, actually. So that's what I'm gonna try and emulate a little bit more going forward as far as titles and thumbnails. So the third resounding point you guys had, and I wholeheartedly agree with it, and what I think is probably the main thing holding the channel back is just a lack of focus. And just looking at my notes here, that's very relieving to hear because I have thought that in my head for so long, but to hear it outside of my head is a really nice sanity check. So let me explain exactly what I intended this channel to be from the start. I grew up watching people like iDubbbz, H3H3, Filthy Frank, but also people like, you know, Vsauce and tech channels and car channels. My interests have always been really, really varied. And so when I came across Casually Explained, I was like, wow, this guy's brilliant. He doesn't have to force himself to one niche. His niche is essentially casually explaining things. And so I was like, well, I wonder if there's a space for someone like that, but who's an on-camera personality as well, and more something like H3H3 or iDubbbz. And I didn't communicate it very well because it's not like I was going to say like funnily explained as the name of it. It's like, no, I wanted it to be my own thing. So that's why if you just look at the titles and the thumbnails alone, it doesn't look like there's any specific focus to the channel. And at the same time, I got carried away with doing these other passion projects like 100% speech controlled Halo, which was a blast to make, and it was technically very difficult and probably a good resume item, but also had pretty much no bearing on the other things that I was doing in the channel, except that it was still funny. Everything has always been comedy related. And so this is what brought me to cars. I have always loved cars. It's been one of my interests, and ever since I bought a 10-year-old BMW several years ago, I have been doing a lot of work on my own cars. Go figure, I suppose. And so after I made this video, something just kind of clicked in my head, and I was like, this was really fun to make. Maybe, you know, I could do this style of explaining topics in a comedic way, but instead of just random topics, I could do topics that are related to something like Donut Media or ChrisFix would cover. And that way, my ideas can still be just as scattershot as they always have been, but at least now they represent some common underlying theme. And doing this has several other advantages too. For one, my car already brakes on its own, so I just have a steady stream of content that I otherwise wouldn't be capitalizing on. Two, I get to do something that I'm really passionate about, but that I'm not gonna burn out on. Pun intended. There's also a really high barrier to entry to working on cars, like tools and knowledge that I already have. Nobody is doing ChrisFix as a meme lord as far as I know. And then finally, automobiles is an actual industry. And you know, you could argue that memes are an industry too, but there's actual money behind cars and potentially higher ad rates, which means that the channel can survive on lower viewership numbers, which is a huge perk in my opinion. Hence why, and we've finally gotten to the big point of this video, starting Saturday morning, when I post my recent upload, I will be changing the name of this channel to Michael's Cars, and all future uploads will follow that same theme that I just talked about. Content by and for car lovers that is just as dark, humorous, and 300 IQ as ever. Content for people whose necks do a 180 kickflip when they see a right-hand drive R34 Skyline drive by, or who have used the term Rip Paul Walker in the past. If you're not into that, and that's probably gonna be a lot of you, no hard feelings at all. If you change your mind, we'll still be here. Truly, I think that this is an idea that can last the long haul. And I'm really excited to make this content. That said though, if you are interested, welcome. Now I had for a while considered making a second channel for this content, and I actually did, but in reality, I don't think it makes sense to actually get rid of this channel. So to the 55 of you that subscribed to that, thank you so much, but you can find that content here. So with all that out of the way, I will see all of you who are interested in another hot car upload this Saturday morning. Love you guys. Bye.